It is Wednesday, so you know what that means, Dan Russell.
It's hump day!
We're taking a live look at a sunny downtown Buffalo. Still chilly out, but at least that sun is warming us up, and it's going to get nicer through the day. Thanks for joining us for Your Morning Buffalo. I'm Scott Patterson. Dan Hump Day Russell is here with a look at your weather on the One's forecast.
You know what? We have seen some beautiful weather over the past couple of days. It's hard to imagine. Here we are already in the middle of the week. We are going to get a little unsettled for the second half this week, but we still have today to enjoy. The only difference really over the past couple of days, some high thin wispy clouds here early. It has been cold and frosty, at least here to kick off today, but temperatures are already climbing. We're up to 25 now at the airport in Buffalo, 25 in Batavia, 24 in Jamestown. We'll add another at least 20 degrees to these numbers as we get into this afternoon. I'll talk more about that coming up in about 10 minutes.
Let's check in on your morning commute as you get ready to head out the door. Here's Barry V.
Still pretty busy, Scott, especially 190 southbound, South Grand Island Bridge to the Skyway. About 13 minutes to get through that stretch. Eastbound on the Youngman also slow from the 990 over to the 90. Very typical. Both of those areas usually congestion related at this time of the morning. Okay, coming across the South Grand Island Bridge, but before you get to 290, you're going to hit southbound slowdowns. There's an accident beyond Sheridan, and looks like it breaks open by the time you get to the Skagway all the way down to the 90. You're doing fine. Just a little bit of delay northbound around Smith Street. Eastbound on the 90, shouldn't have any hassles there. 400 connecting to the 90, either direction will be okay. At Walden, if you're going to exit there, east or west, shouldn't have any hassles at all. Eastbound on the 90 up to the Kensington, you're doing okay. And inbound Kensington from before Harlem to after Bailey, most of the way into the 198, it's off the pace. We'll give you another update in a short while on Your Morning Buffalo.
The Groove Lounge is now closed. The city of Buffalo shut it down after a man was shot and killed outside the club over the weekend. The Buffalo Police Commissioner's emergency order states there were hundreds of people in the parking lot when the man was shot and killed inside a vehicle. Groove Lounge attorney Steve Cohen says he believes the lounge is being unfairly targeted. But Buffalo Police Captain Jeff Rinaldo says it's a matter of safety.
The city charter allows for the mayor and or police commissioner to, through their executive powers, to close an establishment that's deemed to be, a danger to public safety.
Cohen says they'll be back in court on Friday to appeal the decision. This is not the first shooting outside the bar. An off-duty police officer was shot after leaving the lounge last summer. The Groove Lounge has this to say, quote, owners of Groove Lounge have had enough of the senseless violence around the address of 1210 Broadway, now closed, remodeling for the soul food restaurant. No more parties, soul food restaurant featuring live band only. Anti-violence groups gathered around Martin Luther King Park in Buffalo to encourage the community to stop the violence. It's in response to the two deadly shootings in Buffalo last weekend that killed 38-year-old Marquino Green outside the Groove Lounge and 31-year-old Jasmine Harrison in a separate case. Tina Marie Sweet is a gun violence survivor and believes enough is enough.
I just wish that it will all stop and let us be a family like we used to.
We got to do better. Yes. We got to find other means of reconciliation or handling our business in a way that doesn't cause this kind of pain. Yeah.
The anti-violence groups are planning another rally next Thursday. They invite anyone who has been a victim of violence to come show their support. Destiny's Pizzeria will reopen this morning after being closed down twice this month. This is how the restaurant looked 4 days ago when an SUV crashed into the Fillmore Street building. The crash happened just days after the county health department cleared the restaurant to reopen. It was previously closed down when an employee tested positive for hepatitis A. Bills and Sabres owners Terry and Kim Pegula are discussing the future of both teams at the annual NFL owners meetings in Phoenix this week. That includes the many changes in leadership at Pegula Sports and Entertainment over the last year.
There's no secret that Terry and I want to create a workplace that people want to be at, that do the right things and that project the right image and the values that Terry and I hold on ourselves as well as as our family.
As for the possibility of a new Bills stadium, a study is being done by an outside firm to come up with a plan and is expected to be finished this summer. The Pegulas say everything from renovations to a new stadium is on the table.
It's going to take a while. And like I said, this is just our own study, and I'm sure there's going to be others. And there's going to be more hands in that jar trying to work on a plan. So this is really, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have.
The Pegulas say there's no pressure from the NFL on how to go about their stadium decision. A site in Niagara County that holds a radioactive part of U.S. history is getting some help from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. The Niagara Falls storage site in Lewiston was a dumping ground for uranium and other materials used in the Manhattan Project from the 1940s through the 60s. The Manhattan Project produced the first atomic bomb. At a public meeting last night, the Army Corps laid out its plans to clean up the site. The federal government has already approved the removal, treatment, and shipment of the contents of the interim waste containment structure off the site. The Army Corps says this is a major step forward in cleanup efforts, but some local leaders say this has been decades in the making, and they're not confident about the future.
It's not encouraging until they come back and say we've got money and we're going to put a shovel in the ground and we're going to do something. But being as that's radioactive waste down there, you just can't drill a hole and try to pump it out.
When they use words like progress and safeguards, it's not funny, but there is no progress. The stuff has been here since World War II, and it's history's ultimate weapon. And I fear that we, as a community, will become its ultimate victims.
There's no time frame for when the project might start. A local developer is threatening legal action against the new proposed downtown Buffalo grocery store and apartments on Ellicott Street. Rocco Termini, who owns the Hotel Lafayette and other properties nearby, says the 201 Ellicott project's design does not fit the area. He says there's a lack of parking proposed on site. The plans show about 30 spaces for the new Bray Miller Market, but none for the apartments. The development would eliminate a 400-spot surface parking lot, which Termini says would have a big effect on local businesses.
How about people that work at NFTA, people that work at M&T Bank? How about for the future development of the old AM&A's department store? Where do all those people park?
Simonelli Real Estate says, quote, multiple recent studies have cited an abundance of surface and garage parking in and around downtown Buffalo. This project has been designed to reflect that inventory and the modern realities of mobility and transit-oriented development. Termini and Simonelli Real Estate say they will meet to discuss the project sometime this week. The state budget is due Monday, and recreational marijuana is not likely to make it in. But that's not stopping one company from laying the groundwork for a future business selling marijuana in western New York. Flora Buffalo held its second community meeting to talk about the cannabis industry and its proposed high-tech campus here in Buffalo. The company is having these conversations with the community so it can be prepared to best serve Buffalo's needs when recreational marijuana is legalized. Flora Buffalo's president says even though it's not likely to happen next week, they've been speaking with legislators who say it could be passed by the end of the session in June.
If it doesn't get done in the April 1st deadline, we do know that there's still conversation about finishing it before session is done, which is in June. And we'll continue to use that extra time to fortify our relationships with the community, have more conversations, get the right strategic partners in play. We want to be ready as soon as legalization hits.
The proposed site for the cannabis company is at the Outer Harbor at the old Hannah Furnace site. It could potentially bring 1,000 jobs to the region. Calling all artists, your creations are needed to fill Buffalo's newest gallery. That's where we find Spectrum News reporter Brianna Foose. She's live at Queen City Fine Arts this morning. Bree.
Well, good morning, Scott. Yep, we need some artists to fill up the gallery here, or if you're not, a professional artist ready to show off your artwork just yet. That's where Justin Dahl and the rest of his crew here at Queen City Fine Arts comes in, because not only are you trying to inspire the public to come and check out local artists, but you want to inspire the next generation.
Sure, yeah, of course. Of course. We had students of all ages, right? Anyone in the public, if you're someone that's been out of it for a while and you want to come take a class, come take a class. Like we've said before, we're structured sort of like a yoga studio, right? So you can sign up for 10 pack of classes. Take one sculpture class, one jewelry class, one printmaking class, one drawing class. You don't have to basically commit to 4 Wednesdays in a row or things like that. We're very flexible.
And coming up in a little bit, you're still working on it, but you'll also offer photography, which is really cool.
Yeah, we're going to have traditional darkroom photography, so we're going to have an actual darkroom here.
And downstairs is the ceramics, which we'll show everyone in the next half hour. Why did you want to have just kind of a super comfortable space that's open for everyone?
Art should be for everybody. Art shouldn't be this sort of, upper echelon of people. It should be for the masses. Yeah.
Absolutely. And of course, Justin here has a master degree in not one, but two things. So he knows what he's doing. He's a professor as well, so you can learn a lot from him and, of course, the rest of the folks here at Queen City Fine Arts. And like I said, next half hour, we're going to head downstairs and try round 2 of ceramics. Hopefully I can actually make a bowl this time versus some sort of whatever it was before. Live in Buffalo's Riverside neighborhood this morning, I'm Brianna Foos. Back to you, Scott.
Second time will be the charm, Bree. With the sun shining and just in time for the spring season, Ready Bike Share is bringing 200 bicycles to more than 40 stations throughout Buffalo. The new bike stations will be at Bidwell Parkway, Buff State, Canal Side, and City Hall, just to name a few.
Buffalo is a wonderful city to see by bike. It's excellent for recreation purposes, for fitness, for getting together with friends and family. It's a great way to be active and just have fun and just see all the great sights that we have around Buffalo.
To find a bike location near you, download the Social Bicycles app. Ready Bikes are available 24 hours a day from April to November. And with that bright sunshine we have out there today, it's a great day to ride a bike. Will it be like this for the rest of the week, Dan?
Well, we are going to be dodging some showers as we go through the rest of the week. So, yeah, get outside, enjoy today. We've had nothing but sunshine over the past couple of days, but there was certainly a chill in the air. But how cloud-free were we? This is yesterday's satellite shot, and it doesn't get much more cloud-free than this. And we could really pick out that Lake Erie ice coverage. I know temperatures have been on the chilly side as of late, but that strong March sun still doing a number on this ice. It's breaking it apart. The combination of milder temperatures, some of that rain, but also some gustier winds, which is going to help produce some wave action. That's going to eat up this ice fairly quickly as we go through the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, our quiet weather continues today. It's been a frosty start, but look at this. By midday, by the lunch hour, we have most spots upper 30s to around 40. That's where we have been picking up our high temperatures. We'll continue to climb this afternoon, most well into the 40s to around 50, some spots even in the low 50s. And of course, it is now the time of year. You get along that Lake Erie shoreline, the Lake Ontario shoreline, due to that chilly water and, yeah, still some of the ice out over the lake. That will have a cooling influence, but that is very typical for this time of year. If you live near the lake, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Tonight, temperatures are only going to be dropping all that much, so tomorrow morning, not nearly as cold as what we've seen to kick off today. Temperatures tomorrow will get back well into the 50s, but we'll also have to dodge a couple of spring spot showers through the day. Most of the day will be rain-free. In fact, it's not until later in the day. Showers will pick up in coverage tomorrow evening. It will continue at times tomorrow night. Now, by Friday morning, most of that will have pushed on through. High pressure will build in, so we'll try to dry things up here on Friday. And then we're tracking another batch of wet weather heading into the weekend, especially later Saturday and into Saturday night. And for the most part, there's really one day here in the foreseeable future. I'm talking the next 7, 10, 14 days where it is going to be on the chilly side. That happens to be this upcoming Sunday.
Yes, unfortunately.
I got just one day.
Yeah, if you're looking at 2 weeks of good weather versus the one weekend day, it seems like an even trade.
Yeah, and April's looking unseasonably warm.
Okay,
yeah,
I like this.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Dan. The Sabres continue their free fall through the NHL standings. We'll look at their latest road loss, which brings their road losing streak to the unlucky number 13. Here's another live look at downtown Buffalo this morning. A nice looking morning out there. Get out and enjoy today if you can. Time now is 8:13, going on 8:14. You're watching Your Morning Buffalo on Spectrum News.